watch wrestling. What me I know I say you get God of second chance. You get as in to even start with I beg, I don't want to wear this just to do this interview. I beg. I'm not gonna wear and do this interview. I'm very sorry, but I can't wear it. I can't wear this jersey for this interview. I'm not gonna wear it. Why I'm not gonna wear this jersey? That's simple. You get people where they wear this badge, when they pay salary, they pay match bonus, but they are not proud of this jersey. Every week, I lose financially and psychologically because I'm a Man U fan. An employee on the payroll is not proud of wearing this jersey, a legendary clothes, a jersey people wish to wear. Every footballer in England wants to play in Man U, Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. It's a dream of every footballer. And we have footballers who are not proud of wearing this beautiful jersey. So I can't wear it. I don't know if you wear them. 2024, a Saturday, Onana as a goalkeeper don't face 207 shots. Now today, we'll score 43 goals to match Luton in relegation zone. Manchester United. People don't know that our second leg with the City, we were 1-1 at 88 minutes before Ford score. 80 minutes 1-1 for the score. Haaland scored 3-1. Against Fulham, 1-1, 97 minutes, it will be score. Against Brentford, we score 96. They score 99. So I ask you, Togs, what am I doing here as a human being? How much is coaching license and why am I here? That you have a so-called professional manager that lacks game management. Simple techniques, simple things, the basics people do for fun. Use substitution to kill the game. You can't do it. So how do you explain that every day, man, you play game, we find it so easy to drop our mentality, our momentum drop. 97 minutes, Man U 3, Chelsea 2. A toothless bulldog that can bite a crying baby, bite Manchester United. Chelsea, a naked football team without a stadium, beat Manchester United, leading 3-2, 97 minutes. In the space of 4 days, United lost a game they were leading as 96 minutes. We drew and we lose. When we were already singing, they go to Chelsea fans. Ten Hag said, I must drag your face to the mud as I normally do. This one now, this one na Rashford shoe. He is no longer a Man U player. We don't sell him. He can't be a Man U player. If Ten Hag leave Manchester United today, now 2 players sack him, plus himself, McTominay and Rashford. You are so blind as a manager that in your team, you don't know who wants to play for you and who doesn't want to play for you. You don't know who doesn't know where he plays and who doesn't know where he plays. That you have McTominay, who cannot, as a professional footballer, define his territory.
A wonderful evening to all of you listening out there. Benjamin Iketia here, Sports Panorama, proudly brought to us by Twisco. And like we say, we are live. Charlie, did you hear the Manchester United guy? He said a naked football team without a stadium. Charlie, that's Chelsea he's talking about. Chelsea fans. A toothless bulldog. Charlie. Show brought to us by Twisco. That all-new chocolate beverage on the market. From the producers of Cowbell, permit me to introduce you to Twisco, a chocolate food drink enriched with Enefort, a combo of energy-boosting minerals and vitamins, including vitamin B, C, D, iron, and many more. Twisco is available in 20 grams and can be found at your nearest neighborhood store in a delightful red sachet for only 1 CD, 80 pesos. To enjoy all the goodness packed in the sachet, empty contents into a mug mixed with water, add milk and stir. Start your day with the cup of great tasting Twisco chocolate drink. This advert is FDA approved, and that Man United fans rant is Sports Panorama approved. Nathan Kwao is here. Yeah, Jimmy Tai is here. Safo is here as well. Surprise, surprise. Debut on the show, I'm guessing. And then Edwin Kwakofi will be joining us as well, because he will have to explain to us what the emotions are like as a Chelsea fan these days. I saw like a section of Chelsea fans react when that Cole Palmer goal went in. It was complete madness. Today, our main thing is the Premier League title race. We have a big game this weekend between United and Liverpool at Old Trafford. I'll be finding out from my guest who is winning the Premier League title. The battle lines have been drawn. Games were played this week. Of the title contenders, Liverpool managed to win. Looked a little nervy, looked a little shaky, but they managed to get it over the line. Arsenal. Oh boy. Arsenal Football Club say they are here to defy the odds. Can they surpass Liverpool somehow and take this one home? And then you have Manchester City struggling against the upper echelon of the league, but some way, somehow, they are still in the title hunt. Crazy, crazy. We'll talk about what has not worked for them this season as compared to the other seasons. Big shout outs to our YouTube following. You guys watching us from all over the world. Christopher Nimley is not here today. He's in Kumasi for some business. We'll be getting to him over the line, however. I'm sure he has a lot to say about the team that he's retired from. Oh boy. Let's get right into it. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thank you.
Bless. Let's talk about the title race, because look, it looks like there's a lot going on. I'm going to take reasons why each one of you think that United, oh no, not United, they are not United. I'm sorry. The United fans rant is still in my head. I'll play it again. Why Liverpool, why Arsenal, or why City will or will not win this title? So I'll be reading out the fixture list to you. You can decide yourself who has the easier fixture list. You can decide why they will win, why they will not. You can give me some historical antecedent. We'll see if it all makes a lot of sense. We'll see who are the soothsayers here. They will confuse the prophets and whatnot. So let me just quickly pull up my fixture list for you, so you know exactly what I'm going on about. So the title race has never been tighter, really. 3-horse race. Typically, it's been a 2-horse race, for a good part of the last decade. So this is good for a change. Before I even go into it, you out there listening to us, you can get to us via text, WhatsApp, and Telegram. 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. So that's the text and WhatsApp. Like, you also get to me on Twitter or X at Kojo Nketia or The Fundamentals. Let's get talking. So this is what the fixture list looks like. Manchester City, or let's do Liverpool, because Liverpool are the league leaders. So let's start off with them. They have Manchester United next. That's a game we'll be getting into very heavy in a bit. That's an away game. They have Crystal Palace at Anfield. They have Fulham away from home. They have Everton away from home. West Ham away from home. Spurs at home. Aston Villa away. And then Wolves at home. So Liverpool, I believe, have 3 home games left and have 5 away games. So that's a lot of away matches to be playing. We'll see if they can navigate that. Arsenal have Brighton at the Amex, Villa at the Emirates, Wolves at the Molineux, Chelsea at the Emirates, Spurs at the Tottenham Stadium, Bournemouth at the Emirates, United at Old Trafford, and Everton at Goodison. You can pull up your own chart so it's easier for you to make your argument. And then City have Palace at Selhurst. That's just this weekend. Luton at home, Brighton away, Forest away, Wolves at home, Fulham away, West Ham home, and Spurs away. So City will finish the season away to Spurs. Nathan, let me start off with you on this title charge. It's been juicy, it's been sweet, it's been sexy. I say that your own United have a big potential to be kingmakers. I'm sure you heard. Oh, don't do that.
No.
Let me bring my bell. Hold on a second. Let me bring my bell. You can't be kingmakers. Everybody has to come to. Literally, everybody has to come to Old Trafford or play United before the season ends.
But by the time, how United affect the title race? Because I think that
They can stop by stumbling,
if you ask
helping
me, by the
Liverpool.
time, for example, by the time Arsenal show up on the penultimate weekend, I feel we'll have clarity by then as to who's going to win the league. If you ask me,
Yeah.
I think we'll have clarity as to who's going to win the league. If there's no clarity at the time, I don't know how, because I don't know the state Man United will be in. And if Arsenal need to get something from that game to help them win a league title, I wonder if United will be in the right frame of mind, one, two, whether or not they even have the quality to match Arsenal on a day when Arsenal need to get something to win a league title.
But who is winning it? Before you even get into your eye, who's winning this league?
I mean, at the start of the season, I said Manchester City. I still tip them because, you see, you always need to look at somebody who's done that before. And despite everything we've said about Man City, they are still in the mix. They are not out of it. They are still in that mix. I feel that a few more wobbles will appear. If there's a team that will wobble, it will be Man City. But I still think they have...
Where? Which games? If you look at the fixture list, which games?
Okay. Tomorrow's game could be tricky. Now, that game at Brighton may be... I will put a small asterisk by that game at Forest. That game at Forest. It could be a problem. Fulham, I doubt. I don't think Fulham will be much of a headache. So
How so? Fulham have played really well against the big teams this season.
yeah, but I don't think that they will have what it takes to stop Man City at Craven Cottage. Yes, they may have beaten Spurs, but I don't think that Fulham will be able to pose a problem to Manchester City. Of course, barring injuries and looking at their injury situation and who will be available for that particular game. I don't know the form Rodrigo Muniz will be in. I don't know who Fulham will have in that midfield. If Joao Palhinha is available, that would be wonderful. But apart from Rodrigo Muniz, will they have somebody else to deliver a secondary goal threat? Somebody else who can give.
Let me put your stuff in context. So very interesting head-to-head statistics here between City and Palace. Now, the first one says that the 2-2 draw at the Etihad Stadium this season was the third time in 5 meetings that Palace have avoided defeat against City.
Yes.
Third time in 5
Yes.
meetings. So Manchester City
that's
clearly have a Crystal Palace problem.
But that's mostly at the Etihad.
Fair?
That's at the Etihad. Remember, Palace won 2-0 some time back, and then they have this 2-2. At Selhurst Park, I think City have bagged some very good results there. So if you look at that and look at tomorrow's
They are
game,
unbeaten at Selhurst Park in their last 8
Wonderful.
visits.
Now
So
look-
6 wins, 2 draws.
yes. Now, if you look at Palace, look at the state they are in. Under Oliver Glasner, he won his first game. The rest, he's not won. A mix of losses and draws. And I look at this team and I wonder if they do have the steel and the temperament to hold off Manchester City and try and get something. That's why, even though I look at that game and say, potential banana skin, I think that City will come through unscathed.
Jordan has a message for you. He doesn't. big game, Jordan.
Well, they will have to prove it. But like I said, Palace under Glasner have not been good. They've won 1 of the last 5 or 6. And sometimes you can't overlook those kinds of things.
Sometimes you need a Man City.
I get it. Teams don't
coming
miraculously. I always say that, you see, if a team will turn up on the day, they have shown potential in a number of matches. So it comes together. For example, like the Chelsea performance from yesterday. Think about it. They drew with Arsenal, right?
They've drawn with Liverpool.
They've drawn with Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. They drew 4-4 with Man City. So clearly, there is something in that Chelsea team that tells all of us that on a day when they need to find a performance, they will find it.
But Man U beat Liverpool, so they can beat them.
Well, in that FA Cup, they win or go home. But it's win or go home.
We'll come to that.
You see, it's win or go home. So like I'm saying, if City or if Palace want to trouble Man City, we should have seen that in bits in games, so that you piece it all together and say tomorrow they go out and play a performance. That's why I don't trust them that much. So I think
how about finishing the season at Spurs? Man City are yet to score at the Tottenham Stadium. They have not scored. They've not scored a goal there at all.
City finishing the season at Spurs, according to my fixture list, they are finishing at West Ham.
Yeah, I think the Spurs match will be postponed because of the FA
But
Cup.
they still have Spurs to play.
They still have Spurs to play.
They still have Spurs to play. Okay, so let me put that on my paper versus Spurs. So that's
a ground they are yet to score.
Very good. So that could be the game that gives Man City the most problems. Because we've seen that, and they are not going to change the way they play. The defensive line will still be high. Spurs are great on the break. They know how to play on the break. They love to play on the break. And so that game, I feel, that might be the game that takes the title out of City's hands. But of course, it's all very dependent on other things that have happened. Yeah. Because if you look at Liverpool's running, they have to go to Man United, which they will win on Sunday. That's a no-brainer.
Charlie, how you just see the thing just like that? Liverpool have not beaten United this season.
They will beat Palace 3-0. They will beat Everton 3-0. They will beat West Ham 2-1. Hold on. So now I can't tell you.
Calm down. Who have you been consulting? You've been speaking to a good prophet?
So you listen to what I'm saying. Spurs, they will beat Spurs.
It's very unlike you to come with your pen and paper.
They will beat Spurs.
Investors, take notes.
They will beat Spurs 3-1 because of context. What is the context? Remember, red card, VAR. Those are the games Liverpool love to play. When there's a reason, they felt very aggrieved.
Yeah.
After that game in North London, so they will have fire in their belly. Villa away, Villa will play high line, Liverpool to win 2-0, and then they beat Wolves on the final day by 3-0.
Hey.
So it's only the United score I don't have. I'll get the scoreline by tomorrow morning. But I get the inkling it will be 3-1 to Liverpool.
Interesting. This is some interesting stuff Nathan is putting out there.
So I'm saying that. So when look, all jokes aside, I think Liverpool, this run in that we've mentioned, I personally think they can win all games here. And if they win all games on that run, they've won.
Finito.
The league.
It's done. Okay.
So, like I said, there are lots of moving parts.
Yeah.
But when I look at the runnings, I feel Liverpool have a better control of their games. When you look at the games and look at the form they are in, and the fact that now they've been getting that game against Sheffield was a little tricky. They came through.
It was.
And players are beginning to emerge. At the start of the season, was players like Szoboszlai and co. Now players like Alexis McAllister are beginning to emerge. They are scoring the goals. Odegaard is coming off the bench to score. So I believe they have that running that's very manageable. Now we look at Arsenal's running, and that performance away at City. I said that the result of that game at City was never going to be dependent on Manchester City. It was going to be dependent on the Arsenal that showed up. And Arsenal showed all of us that they had learnt in the last year. They had matured. There was no need to go to Man City and say, let me get 3 points. If you can get one and escape, pick one and escape and go away.
Sure.
So I believe that they will handle some of these games. For example, the game at Brighton, I think Arsenal will get that. They play Villa at home.
Is that a tricky tie for them or straightforward?
No, I think because of Brighton's poor form, because they've been juggling European football, it's really worried them. Plus, injuries have kicked in. Evan Ferguson is out. Karim Mitoma, per the last update, Roberto De Zerbi said it looks like he's out of the season with the back injury. So that's a major headache. Joao Pedro is out. I don't know whether he's not playing this weekend. So that's a goal source that is gone away. Of course, there's Danny Welbeck, and we've seen that Welbeck can score the odd goal here and there against some of the bigger sides. So yes, it could be a little tricky, but I think Arsenal have what it takes. If Arsenal do not get that win at Brighton, it starts to complicate matters slightly because I think Liverpool will beat Man United. So now that opens a bit of a gap and you have to try and do catch up. Arsenal doesn't want to do that.
This conviction you have is crazy for me because
serious.
Liverpool have not beaten United this season.
He's so cocksure about it too.
Nathan can be like that, like especially when it comes to United. Like I am sure they'll lose. He said you get that score tomorrow morning.
But I feel it's 3-1.
But
by tomorrow morning I'll have everything. But I'm feeling it's like 3-1.
Bless.
United start well. As Azonto are confirming. They start well. Bless. They score. They are excited.
Liverpool responds, Salah bang, Szoboszlai bang, McAllister bang, and that's it. Game over.
Give it as goal scorers as well.
They
Investors.
mark it somewhere.
You better be
You get it?
listening.
So for me, the game that I worry a little,
Mm-hmm.
I worry a little for Arsenal. The Spurs game.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
Now,
You should check out their history at either White Hart Lane or the
Spurs-
Tottenham Stadium
Spurs played
in
a
recent
very
times.
good first leg. Remember, I think they drew that game at the
it was
Emirates.
2-2.
Spurs played very well that day. Very, very, very well that day. Now, what do Arsenal need? Of course, looking at prevailing circumstances and the run-up that will happen before. They play Chelsea at home before that game. So the approach to Spurs will be very dependent on what happens in that Chelsea game. They beat Chelsea, they are confident. If they don't, looking at other things down, they may now have to go to the new Spurs stadium and say, let's go and get a win. And we've seen Spurs. My only concern, again, is Ange Postecoglou and the insistence that he will live and die by the high line. And I think it may play well into Arsenal's chance or into Arsenal's hands. But I believe if there's a game that could worry Arsenal on the road, it may be that game at Spurs. I think they'll dispatch Bournemouth well. And like I said, that game at Old Trafford, depending on the circumstance. And we've seen Arsenal. So the first big test of how they fare away from home, where they have to go and get a big result, will be at Spurs. Then they host Bournemouth, which I think they will get. And then they go to Man United. So that will be a game they won't have to also go and see if they can get themselves a win. They've not won at Old Trafford in a while. The last time was in COVID, I remember, when they scored a penalty. I think Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored a penalty to win that one. So looking at it, look, I say Liverpool have a running that's a bit more comfortable if I compare theirs to Arsenal and Man City. It does not mean they will win the league. I'm only saying that these are games, looking at their form, they can manage.
Yeah.
Arsenal have a slightly trickier running. But from what we've seen this season, they can handle it as well. It's just one or two away games. They need to show up and show up very well. For Man City, I've told you what the challenge could be. Palace, probably. I think they will beat Luton. Brighton away may be a tricky bit, depending on how much firepower Brighton have on their hands. Fulham, probably.
Yeah.
And then that Spurs away game. That is the most complex game they have on their run. If they fumble that, they are not winning the league.
Well, just a few thoughts on your points before we go on. So on Manchester City, I just found it interesting that unlike in seasons gone by, in this campaign, they are not scoring as freely as they used to. So, there's the cliche statement we make that we all know that in the final 10, 15 games of the season, Manchester City will go on a complete winning streak. I don't know if I feel the same way about this team. Why? Because I think that, to borrow the basketball term, they lack closers in this team. Rodri is the unlikely closer they've had in recent games, but I mean, how often can you call on your defensive midfielder to bail you out? In seasons gone by, they'd had Vincent Kompany come through, big header, big long range shot. He would have it there. Ilkay Gundogan. I still think that they have not replaced Ilkay Gundogan and what he does for this team, which is kind of crazy for me because that's where a lot of teams like Liverpool get upset about the kind of money Manchester City spend. And then when they compare, people say, oh, but if we look at the last, couple of years in the spending board, you've spent almost as much money. But the difference is Manchester City have bought Matheus Nunes and still don't know what they are doing with Matheus Nunes. Like, as it stands, he does not fit the mold of any of the Pep midfielders. And that's kind of crazy because he's not a bad player. He's just not been able to mesh with the system.
Yes.
And he's not
It will take him a while.
I feel like if you took him out of this Manchester City system, they miss nothing at all, which is crazy. And then you look at Josko Vardio. I was eyeing Josko Vardio for Liverpool. I thought that Josko Vardio was the best young defender in the world as at the time Manchester City were acquiring him. Has he been great? No. Has he been bad? No. But has he had an impact? No.
Not necessarily. Exactly. And I think that some of these players, they go into a team like Man City. It takes them time.
Yeah.
It will take you time to settle, to find your role, to find your use. Not necessarily, because I think City have a very set starting 11 or starting 15.
Yeah.
All the others come in for jobs. So come in, do a job for me.
And then go on.
And then you move on. Do a job for me and you move on. So I think that it will take time to settle. But I think you make a good point about how they fared. But on the point of closers, I think that we are still not giving Phil Foden enough credit. I think he's emerged as a good closer for Man City.
Fair.
I think he has emerged really well.
Fair.
That game against Villa was great. His performance in the Manchester derby was wonderful. And I think they will need him going forward. My problem with Phil Foden is this. He doesn't do that often. And I feel that's a part of his game he needs to think about. Because if he wants to make a stronger claim for a proper starting spot, I feel that there are games in which he should deliver. I'll give you an example. In the COVID years or the year after COVID, when City won 4-1 at Liverpool, that was a Phil Foden day. How between then and now, how many Phil Foden games can we identify in between? So I feel he needs to do that a lot more to get himself more into the starting 11. Unless, of course, there are levels he needs to get to for Pep to say, all right,
this is his
have your
season,
starting.
really.
But I think he's done well.
This is his season.
I think he's done well.
And you make a good point about him being a goal closer for them. Can he step up in the crunch
He
moments?
has to.
We'll see. Let me
He
read a
has
few
to.
messages
He really
and then
has to.
I'll get some more thoughts from the other guys. So, Kobe says, good evening, guys. Had a great night yesterday on and off the pitch. Oh, Charlie Cole Palmer, you are too much. Liverpool, we need a favor from you this Sunday. Blue is the color. On and off the pitch is interesting. Anyway, this one here says,
He was at the stadium.
well, this one says, sweet good afternoon. Good afternoon, good evening. Bedroom Pep Guardiola from Ontario, Canada. So he's
not sure.
Time zones have changed.
Time zones.
Charlie, guys, they're hard. He says, Arsenal can never win the league. I prefer City win over Liverpool and Arsenal. If Liverpool wins the league, I'll walk back from Canada to
Hey,
Ghana.
don't
Blues
say
forever.
such things.
This one says that good evening to my lovely City family. I'm in agreement with who is the Nigerian guy?
The audio.
Oh, I'll play it again. Now, as a United fan, I don't care if Ten Hag is sacked. Eddie says, Ben, let me remind you again from the Spintex Roadshow. Frank says, if you need a savior, just call Palmer. In proper manifestation. I see. Anyway, Chelsea fans are having a ball with Cole
They
Palmer's
should.
season.
Cole
Anyway,
Palmer, if you ask me, Cole Palmer is hands down young player of the year.
big one.
Hands down, young player of the year.
I'll see if we can spare some time for debate on this before we go. Safo is not too. He's not. It doesn't look like he wants
Why
to
you
agree.
disagree?
No, I don't disagree.
Who's on your list? Saka?
No, you see, I thought he was going to say signing of the season.
No.
Because that's what the debate has been.
No. I think
Young player of the
young
season is
player of
definitely-
the season.
Even signing of the season here, you
You
can
can argue. I think that's a strong
for him.
argument for him.
Benji, this one says Benji Niadote from Agboba says, I totally agree with the United fans rant. There are a lot of Zuku players in the team. They need to donkomi them and get better young players with passion to win. This is not the United we know. The standards are falling too much. I hope Arsenal win the league though. Hector at Tottenham says the EPL table is already arranged and will remain same to the end of the season. I don't foresee
Very
any
possible.
of the top three losing any of their remaining games. Liverpool will eventually be champions. Citizen Kobe says no long talk. The season is for Arsenal. Fantastic evening. Moses Kofi Noy says, guys, kindly explain to me how Potter and his boys are able to map out strategy to match the relatively bigger teams boot for boot, yet they fail to do same against the so-called smaller teams. Chelsea. Yesterday's game
You
made
see,
my eyes hurt.
The team is young, right? The
No.
team is young.
No.
No, I'm coming.
It's not
I'm
just
coming.
Chelsea.
I'm coming. No, I'm just saying the team is young, and so you can better rally them against a bigger team. You can almost motivation is almost intrinsic.
Yeah,
right?
you don't need to.
You find it inside you. You run. Yeah, you play. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Now, when you have to play like Burnley, you are one. Okay, what do we? Okay, we have to dominate. Okay, we dominate, and then now you have to make decisions. So it's almost as though the opposition has left the decision in your hand. Make the decision. That's where the inexperience of young players come in, and that's why they will make mistakes. It's a very complicated time at Chelsea, and I think that giving time and patience, it will come together. Edwin, I'm sure you agree with.
Absolutely. I share Nathan's thoughts on that. I think for young players, they are in the social media generation. So when these big games are coming at Man United, Manchester City, Spurs, they see it all over social media. Everyone is excited. You don't see
Finally,
too much
people
talk
can't
about
sleep and
Burnley
stuff.
or about Sheffield
Like
United.
Jackson will get a
about
new hairstyle, new
Nottingham
haircut.
Forest. So it's easier to rally them for these big games. And when it comes to these big games, they run extra yards to get to that ball. They make those 50-50 tackles. They are more aggressive. In the games against the quote smaller sides, they are a little more laid back in their tackles. They don't go for these 50-50s.
You're right.
Yeah, so these big games are the ones you can rally them for. I think
Nathan's list is still cracking me up. Like, the way
It's a serious
the way he put up the
Okay,
paper.
hold on. Ben, are you telling me
Yeah.
at this corner, do they sound out of the...
No, they are
Think
not
about
actually.
it. Liverpool beating United 3-1. Is it strange?
No.
Liverpool beating Palace 3-0. Is it strange?
No.
Liverpool beating Everton 3-0. Liverpool beating West Ham 2-1.
Liverpool been struggling at Goodison Park for
Liverpool
a minute.
beating Spurs 3-1 at Anfield. It's not weird.
Cool. Let me talk to Yao for a minute. Let me talk to Yao.
Yes. West Ham away.
Yao,
I've written 2-1.
who is winning the title and why?
Manchester City is winning the title.
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with Manchester City.
So we have two Manchester
Yeah.
Cities in the house.
I'm sticking with Manchester City. I think Arsenal will finish second.
Is that what you did for your early season prediction?
Yes, I picked Man City to win.
Fair.
Yeah, I picked Man City to win, and I think Arsenal will finish second. They'll be more or less sandwiched between
The
Liverpool.
team that's on top now will not finish.
No,
Liverpool will finish third.
Young man,
Liverpool will finish
what's
third.
going on here?
Oh, Liverpool will finish third. And
Wait, how are they going to finish?
how are they going to finish third? Because it's
Which game in this running
Tell
are
us
they
about.
going to
Tell
win?
us about.
well, those 3 games against West Ham, Spurs, and Villa, back to back.
West Ham, Spurs, Villa.
That's where they are, in my opinion, that's where they will lose the title.
Okay, I mean,
That's where they will lose the title.
Why?
Against West Ham, against Spurs, and against
How's
Aston
Liverpool
Villa.
stumbling against this West Ham team?
Because this West Ham team is brilliant on the counter-attack. Check the goals they've scored. Check out how they move when they have the counter-attack.
Actually, to buttress that point you made, so I saw a stat somewhere that said that when you talk about Charlie, stats for all kinds of things. They said when you talk about vertical movement up the field, they have the highest vertical movement up the field of any team this season. So apparently, when they counter, it's deadly quick.
They are. I think they are in the top 3 or top 2 best counter-attacking team in the EPL. Check out how many goals look at the goals Kudus has scored.
Yeah.
Look at the goals Jared Bowen has scored. Most of them counter-attack, and they are so good at it. Those 3 guys, Paqueta, Bowen, and Mohamed Kudus. And when I look at Liverpool,
And it's an away game as
it's
well.
an away game. When I look at Liverpool, and we talk about their other teams' tendencies to play the high line. Yes, Liverpool do play a high line, but their recovery. Van Dijk is still quick. He's not as quick as he used to be. Ibrahima Konate is quick. Jared Kwanzaa has stepped up and he has produced very well. One of the stand-up players, young players of this season. But is he that quick to deal with a guy like, let's say, Mikel Antonio when they are on the counter-attack? A guy like Mohamed Kudus.
Fair point made. So let's move it on to the other games you say.
But why do you want me to go on so quickly?
You have
Okay.
two other
No
teams.
problem.
Two other teams to talk
with,
about. So
with Tottenham Hotspur, again, the counter-attack. Again, the counter-attack. Are there 4 or 5 teams better than Tottenham Hotspur this season in the counter-attack?
don't forget
Or even
Liverpool.
in the past 5
Don't forget
seasons.
that Liverpool have blood in their eyes as far as that game is concerned.
Yeah.
The Simon Hooper game.
So many controversies.
Yep.
I get it, but that's where I see them also slipping. Then you move over to Aston Villa.
The Spurs game is at Anfield though.
Easy. That even makes it easy.
Are you kidding me?
That
right
even makes
now?
it easy for Tottenham
Let me,
Hotspur.
let me tell you what will happen on
Liverpool
that
to
day.
win that game. I'm telling you.
Tell you that. Let me tell you something. Liverpool can stumble in every single game in the run-up to the end of the season. You can put your house on that Spurs game at Anfield. Spurs is leaving Anfield with absolutely nothing.
And I
you
think-
can come back here and quote me.
And I
that
think
said
the
it.
mistake everybody is making about Spurs is that this is not the Spurs which began the season.
Nope.
Spurs has deteriorated badly.
Yep.
Manchester United is not that great. They should have been able to catch up with
We
Spurs
want
by
to
now.
we want to believe Spurs are motivated to finish in the top 4. So
Then
finish
you
your
move
argument.
over, then you move over to Aston Villa.
Okay.
You're playing Aston Villa away from home. Oli Watkins, he's been a bit wobbly in recent times, but he still has 16 goals
Villa
in the
in
league
top- in the
for
top
a
four
reason.
hands.
Yes, and they are in the top 4 hand too. And you know that they've played a game more than Spurs, and they need as many wins as possible. More motivation to beat Liverpool. And so for me, I see Liverpool slipping during that stretch. Then I move over to Arsenal. Arsenal, they'll play against Spurs, they'll play against Chelsea, and they'll play against Manchester United, Brighton, and Villa. Too many close games that can easily end either way. A draw is and I don't see them losing 2 games. I see them drawing more games.
Really?
And that's where the slip up will come. Then for Manchester City, you're playing against Palace, Luton Town, Brighton, Forest, Wolves, Fulham.
West Ham Spurs.
I don't see them losing any of those games dropping points in any of those games.
Don't forget
up
that
until the West Ham game.
Hold on, let me put some context to this. So for Liverpool, I think, do you know what I think works for Liverpool in this title chase? Liverpool have the Europa League to contend with. Now, I don't think that Liverpool are obsessed with winning the Europa League. So they can decide to forfeit the Europa League and field their stronger teams in the lead up to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Arsenal and Manchester City already have Real Madrid and Bayern Munich to contend with.
Yeah.
Now, if you beat either of those two teams, there will be a lot of player management in order to be able to, I don't know, you're trying to spread yourself thin so you can compete adequately on both
Man
fronts.
City just delivered a masterpiece with player management in their win against Aston Villa. Because by the time, the way they manage the players, by the time Kyle Walker and Ederson and those guys will come in, that's when they will be ready to play against West Ham and Spurs. Because playing against Palace, Luton Town, Brighton, Forest, without Kyle Walker.
You know what's funny, right? I like we are writing of those smaller teams, but ironically, those smaller teams have been they've been big headaches. Luton have been a big headache for every team, every big team.
But in the end, Arsenal beat them the last minute, 4-3. In the end, Liverpool beat them. In the end, Tottenham Hotspur beat them.
You know, in this round, you don't need to lose games, right? All you need to do is actually drop points.
Yeah, they do well. I mean, Luton Town is one of the better performing teams this season. They do well. I honestly believe it's a shame that they and Burnley are going down to the championship. But at the end of the day, it's just that bit of gap in quality.
Plus Ben.
Yeah.
You people are acting like this is the first time City is playing in the Champions League. They just won a treble last season.
I think they can handle it.
But squad is not the same. That's what I mentioned.
The squad is not the same. He's basically taking Ilkay Gundogan out. Basically, he's mostly the first team starter. That's missing.
That is like the nucleus of the engine.
And they struggle.
The nucleus is Rodri.
And,
Fair.
Yeah, and they struggle just before I round up on this one. And Man City have struggled generally this season because Erling Haaland, especially in terms of scoring goals, Erling Haaland hasn't evolved as a striker. I have always said that he's not a Pep Guardiola kind of striker. And if Pep had his way, he will let him go and bring in a younger version of Harry Kane or a younger version of Robert Lewandowski, a striker who is as deadly efficient as Erling Haaland, but can contribute to the passing game and the build-up game the way Harry Kane did, the way Harry Kane does, and the way Robert Lewandowski did in his Bayern Munich days. Erling Haaland's game has not evolved.
Yeah.
He still struggles with his back to goal.
Yeah.
He doesn't help out majorly when it comes to the build-up, and that has made it a little bit easier for teams to game plan for him. Besides, a lot of teams have more tape on him in the EPL, and they've been a bit wiser to how he moves, where he loves to have the ball played to him. They always know that he would love to move the ball onto his left foot, so Virgil van Dijk couldn't get too close to him. He would just back off and ensure that once he moves the ball to his left side, yes, he will be there in order to just nip the ball off his feet. And that's what they've been lacking. And on top of that, the guy who was brought in to ensure that he served as more or less a bridge between Man City's strength and Erling Haaland's weaknesses up front hasn't necessarily delivered consistently. That's Julian Alvarez.
Yep.
When he does well, when he plays, oh yes, Man City look very good when they attack.
When you finish, I think I'll do my own bullet pointing on why Man City won't win the league.
Yeah, and on top of that, yes, and that's in upfield and a little bit infield or a little bit defensively.
Yeah.
They've lacked that player who can step out of defense and help out or join Rodri in the middle when they build from the back and form that kind of double pivot with three men playing in the back line. John Stones is the best to do it, but he hasn't been consistently around due to injuries to be able to do that. And that's why they've been wobbly all along this season. But as crazy as it sounds, as wobbly as they've been, they are still in contention to successfully defend a treble, which is more or less practically unheard of.
I think that's what makes Man City most scary because even I think this is the worst season they've had in the last 3 or 4.
Yes.
But some way, somehow, they are still within touching distance.
It's because they are title contenders haven't taken advantage of their slips. Man City, Liverpool had Man City on the ropes.
Couldn't finish the job.
Couldn't finish them off. Arsenal had Man City on the ropes. They couldn't finish them off.
True.
Man United is not a title contender. Yes, but they had City on the ropes in the first half. In that first half, you remember the chances?
I do.
Missed them, missed all of them.
Have completely changed the trajectory of that game.
You remember? I think it was that Man United game.
Even Newcastle, most
all of them they missed it, and that's why I honestly believe that look, this team, they just have something that they lacked back in the day when it came to the Champions League. In terms of trying to win it, now they have it, and I see them slipping all along.
You need to change your allegiance to Man City.
So
you like this guy like Pep Guardiola. He's a closet Manchester City fan.
He's the greatest of all time. I'll give it to him.
See, forget that one. You and I have been doing Premier League for the good part of only 3 or 4 years. I am telling you that you are a closet Man City fan. I don't know how that is.
I just love greatness. I just love greatness, and I see greatness.
No, I understand. Your team is kissing dust, so of course you will love greatness. That's what it is. 2 Manchester Cities. Wow, that's crazy. Safo, please show me something different, please.
The truth of the matter is, if we are all going to be fair, if you look at the fixtures amongst the 3 teams, who has the easiest fixtures of them all?
Liverpool.
Manchester City.
Manchester City.
The most difficult team Manchester City has to play is just Spurs. Per their standards.
And to an extent,
in terms of reputation, I guess.
And West Ham is on the last day. What does West Ham have to fight for on the last day? We've seen teams capitulate on the last day if they have nothing to fight for. Case in point, Aston Villa leading by 2 goals.
I feel like you guys are forgetting one thing. City have not had perfect runs to the end of seasons. I don't know if you remember, but the last 2-3 seasons, they've almost let Liverpool in on a couple
but
of
they get their job done. That's my thing.
But that's just to tell you that Manchester City, especially in the last 5 games of campaigns, are very susceptible to dropping points.
I think that this season, like I said,
this season rather when they are not playing too well.
I think we'll have clarity by the time we enter May. We'll have clarity on who's winning the league. I don't think we'll have the hair-raising final day we've had in the last 2 years. I don't think so.
The team who is most informed is Arsenal.
Yeah. Okay.
The team most informed is Arsenal. You see, I would have gone with Liverpool.
First of all, you say City's winning. Okay, established. Point
City's winning. But the team most informed is Arsenal. I would have gone for Liverpool, but I've been watching their previous games, and no Liverpool fan can tell me that this Liverpool side is very convincing. Even in yesterday's win, to an extent, lucky might not be the right word to use, but they were to an extent very lucky.
Shouldn't you be giving Liverpool more credit for what they've done this season? Because look at it this way, right? Look at it this way. Liverpool have had, I think everybody's had injuries this season, but Liverpool have had injuries to a lot of key players. So Salah's been injured for a good spell. He's gone to the AFCON. Alisson's been injured. They've had to use Kelleher for a good part. They've lost Trent for a good pass. I think Trent will probably not even be in for when the season ends.
But they've handled themselves well.
They've lost Szoboszlai for a good stretch. They've lost Robertson for a good stretch this season. Nunez has been in and out. Jota has been out. So hold on. I'm coming. Hold on. You see,
Joe Ramos.
Hold on.
Joe Ramos job.
Where Daniel Aga. Hold on. You see, other teams, Man City have had injuries to De Bruyne. They've had injuries to Erling Haaland this season. But it is not like Liverpool losing Alisson at a point, Salah, Szoboszlai, Jota. Like they literally lost their whole midfield at a point, and they had to draft in their kids. What I'm saying is, unlike in other seasons past, Liverpool look this time to me like everybody in this team has bought into the vision. Look at Conor Bradley. If you told me a season ago that Liverpool would be playing Conor Bradley in the heat of a campaign, I would have called you crazy, because I'm like, who is this Irish or Scottish kid trying to get in at this part of this? But he's looked every bit the part. In fact, everybody they have drafted in, every small boy they have drafted in has looked the part. The only people who have been disappointed, and I'm hugely disappointed, Ryan Gravenberch, he's been absolute rubbish for Liverpool. And I'm a big Ryan Gravenberch fan, so this is even hard for me to say. But again, I want to say that it can take you a season to learn the system. So I want to give him a pass for this one. And I will say that there's still a great plan that maybe they can bring it out. In the Europa League, he's had flashes of brilliance, but he's been very far from what it is. But I'm just saying that, look, Liverpool have had somebody always step. It's just like that next man mentality. every time there's a void, somebody look at McAllister is on 5 goals and 5 assists.
The only
in his
reason
last
I'll take
9 matches.
Ben, I'll take objection to most of this injury thing. For Gravenberch, it's like I said on scorecard, you get what you buy. Since Gravenberch left Ajax to Bayern Munich, he was never really favored.
Yeah.
There must be a reason for that. And you went to purchase him, so you get what you buy. Just like Chelsea is getting what they buy with Nicolas Jackson. But the thing is this, last season... It's true.
Jackson just catching strays out of the blue.
There's no need for that.
It's true. You might be catching a lot more because that team gets my BP up. The truth is this. Last season, Trent was in that Liverpool team. Most of these players we claim are missing were active participants in Liverpool's team. And they ended up, what, 4th? They couldn't even make it into the Champions League team. You take a player, I think the biggest miss will be Diogo Jota. And I think even one of the biggest miss is Luis Diaz after injury has just not been the same Luis Diaz. But I take a player like Darwin Núñez out. I don't think Darwin Núñez massively hampers Liverpool to an extent that they cannot perform. Darwin Núñez has been...
Núñez is one of their best players this
season. For a larger part of this season, Darwin Núñez' bar has always been down. He's just upped it a little bit. He's never been that great player. He's never been that exciting player. I would say even a player like Elliott or Jones, Curtis Jones, they've been in the Liverpool team for a very long time. Albeit they are very young players, but they've been in the Liverpool setup for a very long time. They are not like random strangers they picked out of anywhere. So Elliott can do a job when Salah is out at AFCON.
Yeah.
Your biggest miss at the back would be, let's say, Trent. And like I said, Trent, for all his attacking output, is a great burden for you defensively.
Yeah.
And I think Conor Bradley has fit him perfectly. I get the whole injury thing, but I feel like the players who have gone out on injury for Liverpool, at the end of the day, they are players who in 3 years, they will say, Odonfu Kung Fu. They help you back and be a great headache to you at the same time. Thiago Alcantara being injured, nobody cares about Thiago Alcantara being injured.
Don't mention that.
I'm not to say.
Charlie, I beg you, don't mention that name. That conversation breaks my heart.
Because honestly, I feel like
I beg you.
These are people you can do without. I feel like if a player like Salah was injured for most part of the season, then we can be having a discussion. Because Salah is a player who week in, week out gives either a goal or an assist.
He's going to one of his favorite places.
So personally, I'm not buying that injury thing. But the only reason I would still not tip Liverpool is because their play has just not been great. It's just been a lot of rely on Alexis McAllister, good thing, and then let's go.
But that's why you have players like that.
And you see how long can that last? That means Alexis McAllister doesn't have a good game.
It's lasted the whole season.
No, it didn't, because you remember at a point in time, McAllister had to play the 6.
Good.
That's when
and since he came into his favorite role, he's flourishing.
He's flourishing. But so then you are what, an injury away from giving us bad performances.
It's 8 games to the end of the season, though.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's why I think yesterday watching the Sheffield game, I was not impressed, because for someone like me who had triple captain Salah, expecting massively for you guys to do well, the play was not impressive. And it's the same against Brighton too. It's not a one-off. Against Brighton too, you were not that impressive.
Against Nottingham Forest,
they were not that impressive.
That's the point you're missing. That's the fact. That's what should even tell you that sometimes
you can get the job done.
How many times
did we say
the whole season?
Arsenal could get the job done last season?
Hold on. And you see, the one thing that is important about a title run is the fact that there will be nervy endings. Now, Liverpool have scored twice the goals in crunch time this season as any other team in the league. They have shown that when it comes to time for guts, they have more guts than any other team in the league.
I don't think it's sustainable.
Hold on. No, I'm telling you, but if I've done it over 30 games, who are you to tell me that it's not sustainable? I've done it all season. Why can't I do it for 8 more games? That's the question. Now, in the 8 more games, I believe that a couple more of their main players will come into the fore. And like I said, I feel like between the 3 teams, they have more undivided attention. Say, call it what you want, but Liverpool don't really care about the Europa League. Man City care about the Champions League, might not be as much, but I think if Pep gets his hands on the Champions League and he misses out on the PL, he won't care as much. Arsenal, though, I think care a lot about the Premier League. So they need to figure out what they want, because it's very easy to get sidetracked. You have Bayern in the rear, and after that, it doesn't get any easier. And so you need to figure out what you're doing to yourself. And so there are lots of parameters. Before Edwin comes in,
let me touch on City.
Wrap up.
Let me just wrap up with City. I feel like City, we spoke about a player like Phil Foden.
Okay.
the reason why Phil Foden has not come crunch for most games we were expecting him to come crunch is which position has he been playing in? He's been playing on the wings most time, accommodating Kevin De Bruyne. On the game against Villa, Foden played in the middle, just right behind the main striker, and that's where he flourishes. Now the question is,
Gareth Southgate
is saying he cannot play a 10 role, which is that's why I personally have never rated Gareth Southgate, but it will be another story for another time. My thing is Pep going to make the bold decision to say he's like Liverpool did yesterday to bench Salah when things were not working, that he's benching De Bruyne and playing Foden in that number 10 position? I think the best
he's shown this season that the thing about Pep is that he's more ruthless than either Klopp and Arteta.
But sometimes he can get stuck in his ways. That's the problem.
There's that. But for example, I feel like he's more.
Vardiol is not performing because Vardiol is not a fullback. He's a centre back. Yeah. But he started to play most of the season a fullback.
He's being forced to do so.
Exactly.
Their fullbacks are just not
available. It's always a system. When Jack Grealish came to City for the first time, Jack Grealish at Aston Villa was this explosive player. Yeah. He's everywhere.
The main guy.
Like Cole Palmer is right now. But at City, he's being forced to be like a Doku.
Play a limited role.
A very limited role. And now you just don't see the excellence come out of the player because he has to buy into the system.
Even Doku is one of those people. He's one of the reasons why City won't win the league. He's slowed down. He's slowed down the past couple of weeks. I honestly think
the only reason I would go for City is they have the easier fixtures.
Easier fixtures. Let me talk to my Man United friend before I come to Edwin. Edwin has something nice for me. Hopefully he can break the ice because this Manchester City monopoly is getting nauseating in the studio. Let me get to my United guy real quick. I'll come back.
They watch wrestling. What me I know I say you get God of second chance. You get as in to even start with I beg, I don't want to wear this just to do this interview. I beg. I'm not gonna wear and do this interview. I'm very sorry, but I can't wear it. I can't wear this jersey for this interview. I'm not gonna wear it. Why I'm not gonna wear this jersey? They're simple. You get people where they wear this badge, when they pay salary, they pay match bonus, but they are not proud of this jersey. Every week, I lose financially and psychologically because I'm a Man U fan. An employee on the payroll is not proud of wearing this jersey, a legendary cloth, a jersey people wish to wear. Every footballer in England wants to play in Man U, Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. It's a dream of every footballer. And we have footballers who are not proud of wearing this beautiful jersey. So I can't wear it. I don't know if you wear them. 2024, a Saturday, Onana as a goalkeeper don't face 207 shots. Now today, we'll score 43 goals to match Luton in relegation zone. Manchester United. People don't know that our second leg with the City, we are 1-1 at 88 minutes before Foden score. 80 minutes 1-1 Foden score. Haaland score 3-1. Against Fulham, 1-1, 97 minutes, it will be score. Against Brentford, we score 96. They score 99. So I ask you, Togs, what am I doing here as a human being? How much is coaching license and why am I here? That you have a so-called professional manager that lacks game management. Simple techniques, simple things, the basics people do for fun. Use substitution to kill the game. You can't do it. So how do you explain that every day, man, you play a game, we find it so easy to drop our mentality, our momentum drop. 97 minutes, Man U 3, Chelsea 2. A toothless bulldog that can bite a crying baby, bite Manchester United. Chelsea, a naked football team without a stadium, beat Manchester United, leading 3-2, 97 minutes. In the space of 4 days, United lost a game they were leading as 96 minutes. We drew and we lose. When we were already singing they go to Chelsea fans. Ten Hag said, I must drag your face to the mud as I normally do. This one now, this one, Rashford shoe. He's no longer a Man U player. We don't sell him. He can't be a Man U player. If Ten Hag leave Manchester United today, now 2 players sack him, plus himself, McTominay and Rashford. You are so blind as a manager that in your team, you don't know who wants to play for you and who doesn't want to play for you. You don't know who doesn't know where he plays and who doesn't know where he plays. That you have McTominay, who cannot accept.
Charlie, my biggest thing, I still say, a team. Is it a naked team without a stadium? What?
I don't know what
What's a naked team?
I don't understand what
Edwin supports the naked team without the stadium. Anyway, Charlie, what's going on? Who's winning this Premier League title?
Look, when I when I heard we were doing this, I said no, I have to do a proper job, proper analysis.
Break down for me.
So I put in every single, all 3 teams, their remaining games, and I did a difficulty rating of each of the games based on the teams they were facing, their record, previous record, the form they were in, and everything.
That's it.
And I went into it, believe me, by God, I went into it thinking Liverpool would win the Premier League.
Yeah. Why don't you hate yourself?
I tried.
You mean you tried?
Believe me, I tried.
Hey, Charlie.
But then there are a couple of reasons why I just realized this is Man City's title.
Charlie, what's going on? I'm not hosting the show again. You're supposed to come and host the show.
Let's hear him.
Hey,
Ben, I mean, these are just projections. It's not the fact.
you are all false prophets.
Projection.
Let's listen to you, what you have to say.
Look, I'm going to go through a few of the games. I'm going to run through them, so it will be very quick. First of all, Liverpool's fixtures. First one, Manchester United. And the rating is out of 5. I gave it a rating of 4, difficulty rating of 4, because Liverpool are winless against Man United this season. United's form is very patchy, but still, it's at Old Trafford. United are coming off a very difficult couple of games, which might danger them to win this one. And in the last 6 meetings between the 2 teams at Old Trafford, United have won 3, drawn 2, and lost only once. So at Old Trafford, they certainly have won over Liverpool, at least in recent times. So that's a
And if
difficult
the form for Liverpool against United this season is anything to go by, that's a game they should be probably scared of.
Exactly. That's why I pushed it up to a rating of 4. Crystal Palace at home, that's a rating of 1. Palace are a tricky side, there's no doubt about it. But in their last 10 games, they've only won 2. And those 2 were to Burnley and Sheffield United. I'm sorry, but that says a lot. And right now, they are in no danger of being drawn into a relegation battle. They are very comfortable where they are. And their top half of the table, they can't reach it at the moment. So
nothing at stake for them.
Exactly. Difficulty rating of 1 for Liverpool. Next one, Fulham away from home. Fulham are a very difficult team to beat. They're actually unbeaten in 7 of their last 10 games this season. And they gave Liverpool a really difficult time in the first game. And they have Rodrigo Muniz in some really good form. So I gave it a difficult rating of 3 particularly because Fulham are at home for that game. Next one, Everton. It's a derby, and I gave it a difficulty rating of 2 out of 5.
Should be 3 actually. Liverpool's record at Goodison Park it's not great actually.
No, it's 2. And the only reason
there's a lot of draws in that fixture.
Look,
I think Liverpool in the last 4 years have not struggled to win.
Not struggled, but at Goodison, it's not as straightforward.
Yes, but
it's
the
not
point is that they always come out on the right side.
I gave it a difficult rating of 2, but the only reason
out of 5.
The only reason I didn't make it 1 is because Everton are playing at home for that one. Because in the last 30 meetings in all competitions, Everton have won twice. Fine, the draws may come.
And if you're Liverpool, a draw is the last thing you need in this run.
But there are 30 meetings, Everton have won twice.
Fair.
Liverpool have the advantage in this derby, and it's not even close. So next game, West Ham, rating of 3 because West Ham are very good, but they are very inconsistent. They might have European ambitions when these 2 teams meet, but it's still a difficult period. And I go back to these 3 games. These 3 games are away from home. Fulham away, Everton away, West Ham away. And they are April 21st, April 24th, April 27th. Few days apart. Before that, Liverpool play the second leg of the Europa League against Atalanta. That's also 3 days before. 3 days before. And it's away from home. So in the space of it's 12 days, Liverpool play 4 away games consecutively.
In the space of how many days?
In the
4
space
days.
of 12 days.
That's crazy. That's
They
actually
played
crazy.
4 games away from home.
Hey.
So that's,
That's-
the 14th.
Look, that's one of
So
the
that's what 14th, 21st.
21st, 20,
Okay, 21st,
24th, 27th. Those are the Premier League games.
Yes, okay.
I believe
Wow.
the Atlanta game is on the 18th.
That's a
Yeah,
tricky
okay.
one.
Because 14th April is a Sunday.
Yes.
18th is a Thursday.
Yes.
Then Liverpool play Sunday. Then they play Wednesday.
Yeah.
Then they play Saturday.
Charlie.
Yeah, that's
So
quite
that's
difficult.
a
Rugged.
very difficult run away from home. And I'm sorry, Liverpool already have their injury issues. They already have their fatigue issues. That's going to be a very telling period. So that's one reason that convinced me. Let's go to Manchester City.
Okay.
Crystal Palace rating of 3 because they are a very difficult side for Manchester City, especially
Early kickoff tomorrow.
Early kickoff.
We will be here.
Early kickoff.
We will be here.
But-
Friends of Palace.
But it's a rating of 3 because they've won, as I said, 2 of their last 10. And I mean, if you're a team in this form, it's difficult to play against Manchester City at any point in time. So it's the chances of them winning is very difficult. Go to Brighton on the April 25th. Brighton have been in very bad form recently, but they are still a deserving side, and they are one of the sides that can actually match up to Manchester City in terms of possession. But without Kaoru Mutuma, it takes a huge advantage from their team. So I expect City to win that one too. So we go all the way to West Ham, rating of 3. They are a very decent side, very inconsistent. At that point, they might have lost any chances of getting into the Champions League or Europa League play. So it makes it easier for Man City. The most difficult tie Man City have to take on is, as everyone has said, the Spurs. Because Spurs gave Man City a really tough fight at the Etihad. They ended 3-3 in that game. They have top 4 ambitions. It's an away match.
Yeah.
So everything says that that is going to be City's toughest match. And you look at Liverpool and City, the tough matches they have to play.
Yeah.
Clearly, Man City have easier matches in the running. Now we go to Arsenal, who face, per my rating, Brighton, who are level 4 for them, because in their last 10 meetings, Brighton have won 5, Arsenal have won 4. That's Brighton. Aston Villa, which is a rating of 4 for me again, because Aston Villa, we know, is a good, very, very good side. They've already beaten Arsenal this season. They have a chance to make top 4, and they want to finish in Europe. They are a really good side under Unai Emery, who has his eyes set on Arsenal again. So that's a difficulty rating of 4. So 2 4s already.
Oh, Arsenal Football
The
Club,
North
man.
London Derby,
Yep.
rating of 5, because it's away from home already. Always give Arsenal difficult games, Tottenham, and they also have top 4 hopes. So
They would like to spoil their party.
they would like to spoil the party. So that's what 3 clubs with ratings of 4 or
For
above.
Arsenal.
And then you have United, who I think are going to give Arsenal a real game at Old Trafford.
That's such a tough running.
At Old Trafford. So I feel of the 3 teams, Arsenal are the ones going to fall off. And they are probably going to fall off very early. I know they are in very good form, and sorry to the Arsenal fans. You have Champions League. You have Champions League
the way you are
ambitions.
saying that thing with conviction
Look,
and
they are
apologizing
going
is
to, they are going to
killing me.
fall off very early. And I think they are going to put a lot more focus into the Champions League and probably not end up going anywhere there too.
Ah, Charlie.
I'm sorry.
Finish him. That's the fatality gambit.
This has a calm way.
That's very. Why
My
would they?
Arsenal people will not be happy with you at
They'll
all.
not be happy.
Why would
but
they want
Charlie,
to
we
do
have to
that?
say the truth. You have to say the truth.
Charlie, this
They
man-
could end up winning the league.
They even have
Honestly,
to, I didn't even add the game against Chelsea because that's a huge derby. Chelsea are probably going to turn.
But that game is at
But
the
it's-
Emirates.
it's at the Emirates,
That
exactly.
Chelsea might
You see,
turn.
it's
It's
But-
another
but to
big
be-
game
to be-
that
in that
Chelsea.
one, I tip Arsenal to win.
It's
be
another
honest-
big game that Chelsea have to look forward to. So
Yeah.
it's another huge one for Arsenal.
To be honest, if you look at the fixtures, realistically, Arsenal have the toughest fixtures.
They don't have the toughest
They
fixtures.
have
And for the teams with
Villa,
Aston
or
Villa,
Chelsea.
especially going to Aston Villa at home. Aston
And
Villa
that's
are
Spurs
yet
game
to lose
especially.
to any big team.
No,
at home
I
this season.
think Arsenal host Villa.
Host Villa, but Liverpool
But
goes
Liverpool
to
go to
Liverpool
Villa.
go to-
So Kojo Adamesa is sending But he says it looks like Spurs and United will decide the winner. We
cannot
we all play them.
I
No, because everybody's playing Spurs, everybody's playing United, except with the exception of City, who won't play United again. Everybody plays both Spurs and United again.
We had Villa
no,
before
Nathan.
this midweek.
United-
Also,
The ultimate season of Sir Alex Ferguson run in the EPL. It was Queen's Park Rangers that ultimately decided Man City winning the league because they lost to
Man City.
They lost to Man City. That Kun Aguero late goal.
Yeah, the magic goal.
Had they not conceded that goal, Man United would have won the league.
I remember,
And they ended up deciding the
that
team
they
that won the league.
were monitoring on both sides.
Yes.
I think United played Sunderland on that day.
United
And they
beat
beat them,
Sunderland.
and they had to wait and watch the scoreboard
Yeah.
as the drama played out at the Etihad. And so for me, I honestly believe Man United have a huge role to play in deciding which team ends up winning the EPL.
I find it hilarious that United actually have a say in this.
Charlie? Charlie?
I honestly think Arsenal will beat United. You see, teams like Chelsea and United, the problem is they are now mid-table teams who have the ego of a big team. So they like to show up. But
I said yesterday's game and my eyes hurt. I'm telling
see,
you. Like
I told you that the football being played was Sagaribiri football.
It was
That's an atrocious
it was
football.
crazy. Like at the point in the game, I'm like, Charlie, but what's this?
it's
that
one of,
was my
it's
reaction.
one of the worst games I've seen
be
this
fair,
season. The
right.
only
Do you remember?
the only
do
game
you
that
remember-
I would say was
do you remember
worst was the
one
first
at
leg.
Old Trafford?
I'm
Oh,
telling-
that was
the one
worse.
at Old
That's
Trafford.
what I was
worse.
saying. I was telling you that look, if there's ever a way to actually lower your IQ after watching football, like these two games that United and Chelsea have played, I think if the two clubs ever are in a delusional state about where they are as organizations,
they should just watch
they
it.
should go and watch the Liverpool Man City game from this season and come and watch this game. It will give them a very vivid picture of where the two teams that they first watched are headed and where they are currently.
The Intebeton.
Please,
Intebeton.
a team won, and we need to say it. One team won. So if
I like the way Edwin
there's
is
still a winner in there.
They say your team is a naked team without a stadium. let me go to the phone lines real quick and speak to the rabbi. Let me take his thoughts on who is winning the title because I need a varying opinion. I'm tired of this Manchester City monopoly. Coach, quick thoughts. First of all, good evening to you. I'm sure you've been following the discussion. Who's winning the title this season?
My brother, without a doubt, it's Liverpool's title to lose. Without a doubt, I think they will win it. Look, I was telling some people about 2 days ago, you can say whatever you want to say. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I think the other people or the other teams, Man City, when I say other teams, I'm referring to Man City
And Arsenal.
Liverpool is playing for something that the two of them are not playing for. And I think that is the Jurgen Klopp factor. A factor which by extension could be extended to Mohamed Salah. Look, most people are not looking at that, but I do believe that Liverpool is going to win the league because of Jurgen Klopp, and they are going to win the league because of Mohamed Salah. I think this will be Salah's last season at Liverpool. When the people from the Gulf land brings the money, they show the cash, it will be very proper and prudent for Liverpool to live without Mohamed Salah and live without Jurgen Klopp. So if you put that aside, nobody gave Liverpool any chance of topping the league because of what transpired last season.
So this was supposed to be a rebuilding season. They were supposed to be rebuilding.
Of course, especially in the department where about close to 80% of the game is concentrated. That midfield of Liverpool, it's a completely new midfield. The boy from Japan, McAllister, Soboslai, they've not played together, not even for one season. The only addition to this Arsenal midfield is Declan Rice. The Liverpool has brought 3 players, and look at what they are doing. Absolutely bossing everything. You see, when a team is going to win the league, you can clearly see, even in games where they are not that imposing, where they are not very dominating, you find a way to win. And that, look, if you follow the English Premier League for over 20, 30 years, you will see that a team that wins the league is the team that will not even play the most attractive football, but especially at the business end of the season, that they find a way of winning. Last season, Man City They will come along. I do that.
Coach, if you can hold on. Can you reposition yourself for me a little? Your line is breaking up.
Okay.
I think you should move a little from where you are. Yes, it's hard to hear you now. Go ahead. Hello.
United. They've not beaten Spurs. They've not beaten Arsenal. They've not beaten Liverpool. They've not beaten even Aston Villa. And that should tell you and I that it is not the Man City of old. And when you come to Arsenal, you see, they've done so well. Nobody should get me wrong. But I do maintain that the lack of a proper number 9, and I do believe that the lack of they not being able to win the league in recent times, so there's great inexperience in that Arsenal team. The only player in the Arsenal team that is an established league winner has time to be corrected. I think it's Jorginho when he won or any form
Gabriel Jesus as well.
Gabriel Jesus as well.
No, but hold on. Let me just quiz you a little bit on that Arsenal point on how not having a number 9 will hurt them, because it's been the talk of the season for them. But in 2024, they've scored more goals than all their title contenders.
Agreed. And that's what I'm saying. You want to credit them for them being able to navigate the season without a proper number 9. They end up scoring more league goals than the other teams. I think the biggest foundation has to do with the guys at the back, the Salibas and the Gabriel, the White. They've had a fantastic season by their standards, and I think you want to credit them for that. But like I'm saying, Arteta will stay be at Arsenal. Jurgen Klopp is going to be missed by the Premiership and by everybody who loves football. And you want to go back into a bit of chemistry. When he granted the interview that he will be leaving at the end of the season, the captain of the team, Virgil van Dijk, at his very first interview post that Jurgen Klopp's announcement, was so emotional. And 2 days ago, Van Dijk again came back and said that the best way to send this manager home in peace is for them to lift the Premier League title against Wolverhampton on the last day of the season. And if you watch them play yesterday against Sheffield United, when Sheffield equalized, everybody was saying that, oh, they are going to bottle it. I was with some very renowned sports journalists at the time, and I told them, if you are bold enough, put your money on it. Liverpool find a way to win. And Liverpool is very capable of winning every game from now till the end of the season. It's 8 more to go. I think that if they find a way of navigating Old Trafford on Sunday, they are going to win the league.
I was just going to come to that. So talk to me about Liverpool at Old Trafford, and then Arsenal also. I don't know if that Arsenal game is at Emirates or Old Trafford. Arsenal also.
Old Trafford. Both Liverpool and
Arsenal also have to go to Old Trafford.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on those 2 games?
Yeah, I think by the time Arsenal will come to Old Trafford, I think that will be the last but one game to the end of the season. By then, it would have been very clear what Liverpool have to do. Liverpool is going to Old Trafford this Sunday. That is very far from deciding the league title. So if they can beat United at Old Trafford this Sunday, I think nobody's standing there. I think it would have taken Arsenal themselves to stop Liverpool from winning the league. If Arsenal don't have the chance of stopping Liverpool from winning the league, I think Liverpool win it. On the part of Arsenal, I want them to win it. If City are the one going to win it. So my first choice to win the league is Liverpool. If Liverpool doesn't win it,
okay,
I don't want Pep Guardiola to turn this league into a farmers league. That would have meant he would have won the league 4 times on the trot, possibly. That has never happened before. So yes, my first choice to win the league is Liverpool, and I believe the joy. Look, when the guy sees the man, I'm told that since the announcement or in recent times, Jurgen Klopp, watch him. He's not screaming, he's not jumping like he used to. It is only his appearance and his personality alone sends the required tactical and disciplined message that every Liverpool player needs to hear. And for me, I think if your players can respond by your the mere sight of you, nothing stands in their way. And Liverpool are going to win it.
Nice
you may look at the league fixtures. You may look at the league and say they have the hope for better. They will deal with every opponent game by game, and they will win it.
Just like they have dealt with them all season. Thank you very much,
Chris. Day, my brother.
Thank you very much, my brother. And enjoy your stay wherever. I'll see you very soon on Sunday. So thank you very much to Coach Christopher Nimley. So Nimley says that Liverpool is winning the league. He has concluded the show in the way it needs to be concluded. Let me read some messages from YouTube, and then we'll talk about Dreams FC real quick before we wrap it up here. So this one here is from Daniel. Okay, Daniel, he's just laughing. Emmanuel Sokoden says, Ben, no matter what you say, Liverpool is not winning the league. I don't know what I've done to this guy. This one here is from George Udate or Jorge. Interesting. Says Chelsea has been very inconsistent, but they're definitely stopping Arsenal. Interesting there. This one here says that they shouldn't forget all Liverpool's injured players will be back before April ends. That means more squad depth for them. Abubakari Harry says, this is good. You are speaking your minds. Keep on speaking your minds. At the end of May, we'll see who wins. More messages here. This one is from Vivian Osei. Says Nathan has seen something. Okay, a lot of messages coming in. So big shout outs to our YouTube fam. Let me read a few more messages and then I'll get Yao and Edwin to wrap it up on Dreams FC for us before we go. Addington from Lashibi says, I love that audio from the Man United fan. It sums up the performances this season. I insist that Ten Hag is just an average football manager. In terms of technical and tactical management of football, Eric Ten Hag is nowhere near the top bracket of coaches. He's overhyped, well packaged and sold to United. This one is from J. Leo inside Birmingham in the UK. He says, I strongly believe if Liverpool should win against United this weekend, they will go on to win the title. Remember, Liverpool are the only team this season to score in every game away from home. Okay, so that City game at Spurs will be a cracker. Alex Dwayne in London says Liverpool to win the league. However, they will beat United on Sunday as well. Kwame from Santa Maria says that for Man City, I think it comes down to fatigue and a drop in motivation. They've won 3 already, a treble, and are trying to do 4 in a row. Has it even been done in the EPL era? Unlike Liverpool and Arsenal, who are moving with so much momentum and desire, Spurs and United will cause upsets. I definitely believe that too. This one here says that Liverpool will beat United 9-0. Mark it on my wall. My name is Anane. Anane. Is that what he's saying? Not Anane, please. Okay, so yeah, interesting clarification there. This one says, Starboy from La Paz says, I still think City will win the league because they have the boys to do that compared to the 2 clubs. Interesting. Robert from Kaswa says, good evening, guys. I think Liverpool will win the league. As for United, I just don't know what our problem is. Okro Yeboah from Bremen says that yesterday everything showed that Chelsea was more ambitious than Man United. More messages coming through. This one says that Cole Palmer's show yesterday was just a one-day show. It's like Jackson or Emmanuel Boateng scoring a hat-trick against Barca. Onga for Medina. How can you watch Palmer the whole season and say it was a one-day show, guys?
He scored 16 goals.
Onga, don't do better. Really. Guys, quick thoughts on Dreams FC. 1 against Stade Malien away from home. A win or a favorable result down here, and they are through to the semis. Yeah, you've written an article on Dreams and why they should be getting more love. So just quick thoughts on that. I think Edwin and Safo as well.
Well, for starters, I think for me, they've already qualified to the semi-finals. Yeah, if you go away from home to Mali, Stade Malien in Bamako, and you get a 2-1 win over Stade Malien, and coming back to Ghana, the Baba Yara Stadium, I think, honestly, yeah, you just have the advantage, supreme advantage to be able to qualify to the next stage of the competition. And the fact that they've been able to make it to this stage is very, very, very creditable. Very, very creditable. But like I said in the article, the reason why they don't get a lot of love at this point in time, where you would expect them to get a lot of love, knowing how Ghana hasn't done well or fared well in the African competitions, club competitions, it's just down to, unfortunately, it's just down to how things are managed seemingly at Dreams FC and how things are managed with the people who are also involved with the Black Stars. Because Aminu Shadow is the team manager of the Black Stars. He is the general manager of Dreams FC. Keto Kweku is the board chairman at Dreams FC. He is Black Stars Management Committee member. He is the GFA boss. When you look at those two entities and you do a comparison, which one has been well run over the years? It's Dreams FC. It's Dreams FC.
Facts.
Which one has been well run over the years?
Facts.
It's Dreams FC.
Dreams FC actually, in fact, we don't say it, but they are actually one of the better
One of the
run Ghana
best
Premier
runs
League teams.
teams in Ghana.
Facts.
Look at
I would disagree.
Look at their scouting. Look at their scouting. Some of the players that have been scouted for the Black Stars. Do you think that honestly they do make the grade? Very questionable.
Fair enough.
But
Wrap
look
it up.
at the scouting for Dreams FC. Look at the players that they have in their ranks. The Black Satellites team that won the African Games.
Aziz Issa.
Yeah, Aziz Issa is in there. Aside Aziz Issa, there was
They need
Ofori
blue.
McCarthy in there. Emmanuel J, I believe. Yeah, Emmanuel J was also in there. Very good players.
Aziz Issa, they need new legs for him. He must be tired.
And you look at how they run that club from top to bottom. From top to bottom. And you look at how key personalities on Dreams FC, in Dreams FC, who are also with the Black Stars, how things have contrasted between those two entities. It makes you a little bit worried that it makes you question that why is it that these things are happening, and that's why I honestly believe that they do not get a lot of love that they should be getting now, because it's like
I think so too.
it's like and no, he's doing things right, and look at how they are doing the Black Stars. Look at how they are managing the Black Stars.
I feel
and
like
it brings about apathy.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It brings about apathy.
I
So
feel like
do
all
your
that's been
thing
going on with the
and
Black
we do-
Stars has affected them.
Yes, honestly.
Ideally, they'll be getting more hype by now. Edwin, what reasons do you have for Dreams qualifying to the semi-finals? I mean, have a look at their whole campaign.
Look, very quickly, I think that it's very dangerous to consider Dreams already in the semi-finals. That's very dangerous thinking. This complacency has affected a lot of teams, and Dreams will not be too big of a club to fall to this. And I think they need to just put enough focus onto the home leg, and they've been really good at home. You talk about what has helped them to this stage is their home form. They've won every single home game in the tournament so far. If they win this one too, they are through to the next stage of the competition. And it's how they approach these games. No matter which game it is, no matter which team it is, they try to impose themselves right from the off, and especially in their home games, they try to go at their opposition. And once you do that, once you show no sign of fear, once you try to impose fear on them, they buckle and they fall apart. And it's happened throughout the group stages. If they make it happen against Stade Malien when they come to Ghana, yes, they are definitely in the semi-final. But there are so many star players, quality players in this Dream squad. Not least of all,
John
Entry. John Entry
was brilliant. He's been brilliant again. I think their defense has been really solid throughout the tournament. They've barely conceded, especially at home. When they do, it's because it's a very open game. And I think try to keep it from being an open game in the home leg. If it's an open game, lots of goals get scored. You might make a few mistakes. You might concede more goals than you want, and it will turn the tide. But I think Dreams should have this in the bag.
Dreams have it in the back?
Yeah, to wrap it up, I think the only reason I would disagree with Yao is this. Irrespective of whoever is the owner of Dreams, I feel like the last time a Ghanaian team did so well in, I think, the CAF Champions League itself was Brecum Chelsea. The reason why people could rally behind Brecum Chelsea, I feel, was because it's tied to the people of Brecum. I think Dreams FC.
I also pointed it out in my article.
So you see, I feel like
Didn't
that's
they say
a
they were
major
tied to the people of Quayman or Quayman?
It's even hard to even
and the thing
tell
is,
who they are
the thing
tied
is,
to.
Let's say because they've been forced to play their games
Out of
their
their
venue,
jurisdiction.
their jurisdiction, it hurts them a little bit. And on top of that, because it's not your traditional club.
Exactly.
If it was, let's say,
It's a club that's
even
still
Olympics,
pretty new.
even if
yeah,
Olympics,
even if it was Olympics that played at the Baba Yara Stadium,
Yeah,
you will
get-
get more fans at the
Fair.
stadium
That's true.
than
That's true.
and to be
Don't
honest,
do
this whole war ranting, have you checked Dreams' position on the league log? They are really they are close to the relegation. They are close to the top.
Divided attention.
Yeah,
They have a lot of games
in hand too.
You have a lot of games.
But you see, my thing is this. I would stand on the fact that they don't have the traditional thing about them.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And that's why they are not gathering, because if it was even an Ash Gold, they would still get the numbers. So,
that's the team.
but then kudos to Dreams FC. I think their run has been fantastic, and people have not looked their way. But I personally feel if they move from Kumasi to Accra, maybe they could gather more people to come support them. So, and like Edwin said, this is the African game. You can never underrate it. Some malam things can come and happen in Ghana here, and you would be surprised.
Don't underrate it, because once they make it to the semi-finals, they get $200,000 extra.
So they should put in their best. I think the football people would support them. I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who runs the club. I think this is the thing Coach Nimli hates the most. Fan China here support.
Let me just read a few messages. So our good friend Seidu Adawu says, Ben, as a Man United fan, I wish Arsenal wins the league to avoid the Liverpool and Man City nonsense. Good show, good night. Okay, so Seidu.
But I want to touch on that Man United last goal, the Chelsea goal, that last goal.
What do you want to say?
Hey, I beg you, I'll send you the picture so that you can tweet it. Just before that corner kick was effected, you had 3 Man United players point the finger at Cole Palmer.
I saw it. I've seen it. I've seen the picture.
They pointed their finger at Cole Palmer.
Everybody was pointing at him, and nobody was
who was taking personal responsibility to go and mark him. And once this happens, they'll turn around and say, "Oh, sack the manager." How is that the fault of the manager?
One second.
Take personal responsibility. You've identified the most dangerous player on the Chelsea team. Yeah. He is left-footed, about to receive a pass from the right side, favoring his left foot, his stronger foot. You've identified the problem. You have pointed it out that, oh, look at him. Go and mark him. Go and mark him. But who is going to mark him?
Nobody does the marking.
Explain that.
And that's the show tonight. Thank you very much, Jamie. Thank you, Edwin Kwakofi. Nathan Kwa was here. Safo and Coach Christopher Nimley joined us over the line. Thank you very much for texting into the show. Show proudly brought to us by Twisco, that all-new exciting chocolate beverage on the market from the producers of Cowbell. A chocolate food drink enriched with a combo of energy-boosting minerals, including B vitamins, vitamin C, D, iron, and many more. Is available in 20 grams and can be found at your nearest neighborhood store in a delightful red sachet. Only 1 CD 80 pesos. Enjoy all the goodness packed in a sachet. Empty contents into a mug mixed with boiling water. Add milk and stir. Start your day with a cup of great tasting Twisco chocolate drink. And enjoy. Let's see if I can do a few shout outs before we go. Safu, you got a shout out?
Yeah, shout outs to Jeffrey Dry and all the people at Sulia Podcasts. They are listening, they are logged in. Guys, stop blowing up my phone. Everybody wants a shout out. Jeffrey Dry, this one is for you.
Yeah, Charlie. Big shout outs to Kojo Diamonds, our Liverpool fan. We are winning the title, so I mean, we don't care what people say. McAllister is great. Is in for signing of the season. He's in there along with Declan Rice. Regardless of the injuries, regardless of who Liverpool going to this title. So that's it from us here. I'll leave you with the Premier League preview show. So enjoy that particular one. We are out. The show will be available via podcast on Spotify, and you can also catch it on YouTube. Enjoy the rest of your evening and keep the dial right here. Keep enjoying the programming.